Guys, by the way, 20 seconds to appreciate the struggle in filming this in the desert. Whew, something else. Hey guys, welcome back to another show. Today I'm not in Dubai, not in my studio. I'm literally in the middle of the desert. We are staying at the Ras Al Khaimah Hotel, Ritz-Carlton. Beautiful place, insane. Plenty of wild animals and all this quietness that made me think about a few things. And yes, it's been a few years ever since I started my journey, and thank you so much for supporting. Of course, if you find this content useful, please leave the thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And it made me realize after speaking to over 200 people, some of them are traders, some of them are millionaires, some of them are multimillionaires, some of them are hodlers, some of them are all in, some of them have no Bitcoin at all. A pattern started to emerge. And today I want to share with you the most important lessons I've learned ever since I started my journey in talking to people and exploring Bitcoin. Some of those lessons might surprise you, others might resonate with you, but it's clear they are painting pictures and they are showing us where Bitcoin is heading to. Anyway, let's dive into it. Bitcoin is basically like a mirror. It projects your fear, projects your hope, projects your ideas. For some people means a lot, for other people means nothing. And it's up to you. Whatever you see into it, you will attract and resonate with. It's a roller coaster of emotion. The price is volatile. For some, volatility is a good thing. For others, volatility is a bad thing. It's going to teach you how to deal with fear and greed, right? So those are the two emotions that control the market. Some people manage to become immune to them. Other people, they fell into the trap that those two emotions are baiting them into, because believe it or not, it doesn't matter if it's less or more volatile, price is going to swing. Time in the market beats timing the market. Many people are trying to understand where the price is going, right? So they're trading, even hodling, right? Sometimes you project the top, you think because you follow news, watch some podcasts, and you're trying to think where the top could be, right? The most important thing, in my opinion, is to stay in the market. And whenever there's a price drop, feeling like you're losing money because your portfolio is down maybe 15, 20%, that's the moment where your conviction has to be kicked in. So you wanna make sure that whenever you purchase something, you understand why you're buying it. Otherwise, your emotions, fear and greed, they are going to convince you to do things you wouldn't have done it otherwise. Guys, by the way, 20 seconds to appreciate the struggle in filming this in the desert. Whew, something else. You have to embrace this volatility, because volatility is life. It's not a bug, it's a feature, right? So keep that in mind. Not your keys, not your coins. It doesn't matter who I've spoken to, everyone agrees that the best way to store your crypto, Bitcoin in my case, is not to keep it on exchange. You can buy a hardware wallet, it's really easy to set up, and move them away from exchanges, because again, they will have the custody. Exactly like a bank, right? Whenever you move your money into a bank, money, we know it's not yours, it's not in the bank. Well then, if you use an exchange, it's the same thing. Now, it could be useful for someone who starts off, maybe they never had any crypto to begin with or any Bitcoin, so it becomes convenient because you can simply register, choose a username, choose a password, and they will keep custody on your behalf. Or maybe an ETF could be a vehicle for you to invest into it. But as soon as you understand how this works, if you ask me, self-custody is a must. What happens when you stumble across Bitcoin specifically, it seems too good to be true, right? So you either have a couple of scenarios. So you have someone who proactively decides he or she to study and listen to the podcast or reading books or whatever that might be, and they will become believers eventually. Or on the other hand, you have someone which is extremely against it, and by being against it, they'll start talking about it, and while they do so, they most likely change their opinion. Yes, of course, there are some people, they don't believe into it and they are still completely against it, which is totally fine. But I do believe if you study this thing long enough, you'll end up in buying some. And by the way, you don't have to go all in. You don't have to be plugged into the Bitcoin standard. At the end of the day, it's supposed to be a saving account. It's supposed to be fighting inflation, which is not 2% a year. It's most likely 8%. So you want to find an asset that's going to allow you to save your energy, store your wealth. Bitcoin is not just money, it's also a community. It's scaled throughout people, right? You can run a node, you can be a developer, you can simply talk about it and educate people, you can simply buy and do nothing. Either way, scales through people. It's the people money, right? It's decentralized, it's permissionless, it's immutable. Every time you talk to a friend, you explain to someone why you are investing into Bitcoin or crypto, you are somewhat contributing to the adoption itself. So we will see a broader adoption when it comes to ETFs, institutional funds. We will see also treasury companies coming in, ramping up, because at the end of the day, they can't ignore this asset anymore. So if you simply follow the money, as we say, don't listen to what they say, but look at what they do, right? Sometimes they say things on TV to maybe correct the price, but at the end of the day, it's clear that institutions nowadays are accumulating as much as they can because they understand Bitcoin is here to stay, right? It's a 16-year-old technology, and now it's being embraced by institutions, government, and all sorts of entities that they couldn't have access to because they didn't have ETFs, they didn't have treasury companies. It was much more harder for them to buy some because of the nature of the investment itself. So the journey is your own, right? Keep learning, keep questioning, keep challenging, keep investing if you wish to do so. And it doesn't have to be Bitcoin, by the way. I say this all the time. Bitcoin is my choice, it's my preference. But you have to remember, inflation is real. And if you don't find a way to protect your wealth, to protect your sweat, to protect your work, inflation is going to take it all. If you don't have a plan to store your energy in 10, 15, 20 years, the purchasing power is going to be significantly less. Do whatever it takes to study why you should invest into assets to protect yourself from inflation. Because, like I said, the monetary system we live into is a scam. And the only way for you to understand it is to challenge it, right? To study, to go deep into the rabbit hole, as we say. And I'm not saying you have to land into a full Bitcoin portfolio, into a hardware wallet with a metal plate buried into your garden. It's your journey, right? And no one can tell you otherwise. But you owe it to yourself to study and at least to challenge. And if the answer is money in the bank and a mortgage for you, well then go for it. I strongly believe if you do start this journey, if you do start to challenge the financial system, if you do start study Bitcoin, it's inevitable. You will get it, you will buy it, and you'll become a Bitcoiner. And like I said in the beginning, there are so many different ways for you to be a Bitcoiner. It's a network and you can participate as much as you want, from 0 to 100. It's up to you, because you are, I believe, Satoshi. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I'm gonna jump in the pool and I will see you on the next one.